I am proud to introduce to you today the brand new Spro Megalojon. That's right, it's not a Megalodon, it's the Megalojon, and it is a new swim bait that I'll just tell you the story about how I got into it. But before I get into that, I know you all want to say, what's it look like underwater? So here, I'll just show you that part first. Is what I think it looks good. I hope you think it looks good. If you do, stay with me. I'll tell you the story on kind of how I backed into this deal. So I've been designing baits for Spro for 15 years, really. And done a lot of crankbaits, spy bait. I've helped on some other baits. But here we go. They had a swim bait. And they said, man, we know you get the missile baits, the soft plastics deal. We're working on this swim bait. We wanted to get some feedback from you. I said, okay, I'll be glad to kind of show you, give you some feedback. So they sent me the first prototypes, and they didn't run very good, to be honest with you. The tail kicked okay, but really the body of the bait was dead. It just had some tail kick like this, but the body of it was dead. And I said, and it was heavy. I said, man, I don't know. It's way off. And they said, can you fix it? And when they said, can you fix it? I said, can you make a shoe stink? Of course I can fix it. Come on now. I didn't take it personally. I just took it as a challenge. So anyway, the proportions were wrong on the initial one, mainly from here back. I changed the proportions on it, and it totally changed the way that the bait ran. So now, as you can see, when that tail is doing its kicking motion, and for those of y'all don't know, the boot tails, they don't normally kick like this. The boot tails like this, they rotate, boom, 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 like that. And this one, it got the head to start shaking when it did it. So that was the first part we solved. Big deal. The plastic initially was too hard, so I was like, dude, send me the softest you can send. They sent me 3 different grades of softness, and we went with the softest. But it's still a tough material. I've been throwing this bait a good bit out here testing it, and I've had this. It's going to come with the harness on it. It's got a harness inside of it. It's got a weight inside of it. It's got the swivel on the bottom, and this got a Gamakatsu #2 treble hook on the bottom. And that #2 treble hook, I think, fits it just right. It sits out from the bait, and it just, it hooks up really, really easily to the fish. As you can see, it kind of sits out off of the bait. So good hookup ratio with that part of it. But that whole head shake, the tail kick and the head shake together just make it a really, really different combination. And from the other baits in the category, whether you're talking about a mag draft, now there's the Zal Dangerous, there's other ones. Zal Dangerous is different than the mag draft. To me, they're a little closer. This is a lot different. This has much more head shake. It's much more of a thumping, harder thumping bait than like a mag draft. A mag draft, you can really slow roll it because it's a little more finessey. It has the head of the mag draft actually rotates like this more. The head of this bait goes like this more. A lot more thump, a thicker bodied bait, much heavier. You can throw this a lot further. You can reel it faster than you can, say, a mag draft. But the other part is it's got a little more weight inside of it. Initially they had too much weight in it. That sucker would get on down yonder. It would get down. So every laydown you came to, you just try to throw it by it, and you're hung up in the laydown. It was a little frustrating, but I cut the belly of it open on some of the prototypes, and cut some of the weight out, cut some more of the weight out, and then tested all of those, and we got it to where I think it needs to be. it doesn't ride right up under the surface. It, you know, just on like a steady retrieve, you're looking at about a 2 foot under the surface deal. Just a steady retrieve. You can slow it down, and then it'll get, you know, 5, 6, 7 feet deep. Just slowing it down and just reeling it real slow. Still has that good head shake, and then you can kind of kill it, let it sink down a little bit further, and then start back with the slow retrieve, and it'll run consistently 8, 10 feet deep. So if you want to use it for live scope purposes, you know, you're looking out there and you see a fish that's, you know, 8 or 10 feet deep, and you want to bring one right over his head, pitch it out there, wait a couple seconds, start slow rolling it, and it's gonna go like this right over top of its head, and could be a way you want to use it. But you can definitely throw it next to docks. You can skip it under docks. You can throw it, you know, next to laydowns. All kind of different stuff that you can do with the brand new Spro Megalojohn. I'm gonna kind of time this thing. I'm gonna put this video out right as it's being released. But we're talking about spring of 2023 here with the Spro Megalojohn, and I just really like the way this thing turned out. I'm very, very proud of it, and all that head shake. So we'll just, I mean, might as well finish out the video, right, by showing you more of the underwater footage again. So take a look at it. It'll be available at retailers all over the place. And again, I'm real proud of it. I throw it on 18, 20-pound test. You can throw it on Spro or Cashin big bait rod. This is like perfect for this bait. 7 3-to-1 reel. You can use a 6 3-to-1 or 7 3-to-1. I like the big handle, so you can really kind of control the pace of it. And then 18-pound Sunline shooter. That's what I'm going to be throwing on it. You could probably get away with 20. I wouldn't go any less than, say, like 15 or 16. You don't need to. It still has plenty of action, and you can wrestle them out of the cover once they inhale it. But that's kind of a little short version on how I fish it. But I'm looking forward to seeing how many big bass get caught on this deal right here in the next year or so. So there it is, Spro Megalojohn, brand new bait, brand new.